Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, the stock market's trying to rally back up right now. It's not going to be a straight line. I mean, we're having 1,000-point swings still, right? But we came down on the S&P, dropped about 20%, right? And now we've rebounded about half of that, up about 10% off of the lows. Now, can we come back and retest those lows? That's a possibility. Now, eventually, I think they're going to continue to push this market up higher. You're going to get one more chance to get out close to the record high or just above the record high, but they're going to have a big rally. Now, I think the big rally is going to come when we get some news about China. Now, if China comes and we make a trade deal with them, you're going to see this market take off like you've never seen before, and they will push it up to a new record high. Now, there's going to be resistance along the way. There's the 200-day, we're down below it. There's the 50-day, we're down below that. Both of those are going to be resistance. Now, the first time we come up against them, I don't think we'll get through them. I think we'll pull back down. We'll have a pullback. But eventually we're going to push it right through those. Now, as soon as the China news comes out, we're probably going to explode past those, hit a new record high, and that's going to be your last opportunity to get out of this market before the real bear market starts. Now, that's just my take. I know a lot of moon boys think it'll just keep going up and up and up, but I do think a bear market is coming. I think a bear market will happen this year. We'll see how that plays out. But I want to talk about the last great bull run, the last great bull market. What am I talking about? I'm talking about gold. Gold has had this great move up, right? I mean, it was down just a year ago, about 2,000. Now we're at, what, 3,300. Now it was funny, right? The other day, gold dropped $100. $100. Now, when it went up $100, the mainstream media didn't even mention it. As soon as it dropped 100, you know what they started to say? The headline, it was the headline story. Gold prices plunge. They plunged in a record drop, a record drop. It's the end of the bull market as we know it. The bull market's over. Look at this bull market's just getting started. Yes, we're at a record high, but we're still very cheap. Gold is cheap at 3,000. Well, it's at 3,300, let's call it. Yeah, we're down 100 from the 3,400. I get that. We came down $100. Look at, we might get lucky. We might get it down below 3,000. If we do, that is a gift. That is a gift to start buying it again, right? Because it's very cheap if we're below 3,000. I don't really think, actually, it wouldn't shock me if we got below 3,000, but it's not necessary. We may just keep going up from here. That's just my take, but I think we're going to hit 5,000, 10,000. A lot of people are calling for 40,000. That's why this is known as the last bull run, the last bull run. There's not going to be bull runs in the gold market after this. The reason being is because gold is going to become money again. Now, gold has always been money to me, but it's going to return to money in circulation. It's going to be what we use to purchase goods again. A lot of people think I'm talking crazy, right? A lot of people think that's impossible. But Mike, we got Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to be the next money now. Oh, it's fascinating. As listen to Michael Saylor. I think he's a very disturbed person. That's just my take. Very smart, very intellectual. He'll tell you how smart he is. Look at, he had a failed company in the dot-com boom, lost 99% of all of his investors' money, but he revamped himself, right? Reinvented himself as the Bitcoin king, right? Bitcoin is his God. He will admit that. Bitcoin is his God. He thinks he's a prophet, right? And as soon as it, right now it's working for him, right? Everybody's listening to him. Everybody's getting that Bitcoin, right? Michael Saylor, here's what he says to do. He says to either sell your house or get another mortgage against your house and buy the Bitcoin. You see now, okay, his whole speech was, anyways, I was listening to it. Let's say you go out and you get a HELOC at 8%, right? That's the best thing you could do right now, according to him, because you can put that money into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, it's guaranteed to return between 30 to 60% a year for the next 30 years. It's going to $10 million of Bitcoin and beyond that, right? So get out there, either sell your house or mortgage it and put all that money into Bitcoin. Get that HELOC loan, put it into Bitcoin. You can't lose, right? You're going to become so rich. It's incredible. Look I had this friend back in the dot-com boom, right? Dot-com boom, the NASDAQ was going up every day, hit 5,000, right? Now, she was a financial planner, a very prominent financial planner in Los Gatos, California. All right, what was she telling her clients to do? Go take a second on your house. We're going to put it into the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's going to continue to go up at this pace. You can pay off your second. You'll have all this money left over. Well, what happened? What went wrong? What went wrong? Let me think. It went from 5,000 down to 1,400. What happened to her business? She got sued by all the people that listened to her. She got sued. She went out of business. I ran into her a couple years back. Very sad story because I like this person, right? She's a very nice person. Anyway, she's now an alcoholic, homeless. I actually bought her lunch, took her to lunch, and we tried to have a conversation about what went wrong, but she didn't want to talk about that. She couldn't look back at that, right? I mean, that just wasn't in her frame of mind, but she lost everything, right? And I think Michael Saylor will fall into that category of losing everything. I think he'll lose his business. He borrows $1 billion a week, a month, I don't know what it is, borrows $1 billion every week, let's say, and goes and puts it in Bitcoin. Now, it's great when it's going up, right? But it's a double-edged sword, right? That's what leverage is. It's a double-edged sword. As it's going up, everything's fabulous. Everything's fantastic. When it starts to go down, it's not going to be so fabulous. Not going to be so fantastic. Look at his average buying cost is right around 70,000. I get it. It's up at 90,000 right now, 93,000. But when it drops below 70,000, he will be the one liquidating his Bitcoin, right? And he owns a lot of it, right? I don't know what percent he owns. Maybe, I don't even know. I could do the math, I suppose. But anyways, he's got billions and billions of dollars in Bitcoin. And when he has to liquidate, it's going to crush, just destroy the price of Bitcoin. But not yet, not yet, not yet. Look, at Bitcoin is going to go make a new record high along with the stock market. Stock market's going to make a new record high. Bitcoin's leading the charge right now, right? It bottomed before the stock market bottomed. Bitcoin bottomed first, started to head up, then the stock market bottomed, following Bitcoin up. And they're both going to hit a new record high, in my opinion, right? And was the last record on Bitcoin 109. Maybe it gets to 120. Maybe it gets to 130. But mark my words, Bitcoin will be leading the market down. You see, when the bear market starts in the stock market, Bitcoin will have already made the turn and it will be coming down. You see, these markets, they need liquidity, right? Once that liquidity starts to dry up, they're going to start to come crumbling down, be led by Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will suck the NASDAQ down with it because of Michael Saylor, right? Now, Michael Saylor, you know, he thinks Bitcoin's the best money ever created. Well, you see, now I said this before, I'll say it again. Anyone that thinks man can create better money than God, well, they're a fool. They're flat out a fool. That's my opinion. I don't mean to offend people, but Bitcoin is not the best money. Gold is the best money. Gold is real. Gold is tangible. Gold has been money since the beginning of time, and it will continue to be money going into the future. And I do think this is the last bull market run for gold, because gold is going to return to being money and everything will be marked against gold again. That's just my take. People will tell you I'm crazy. I'm okay with that. I will get a lot of hate on the Bitcoin people telling me what a genius Michael Saylor is, and that's okay. I'm not saying he's a stupid man. I'm just saying he's misguided, right? I mean, he's got worshiping a god of Bitcoin. I don't think that's the way to go. Gold is not my god. My God created gold, but gold is not my god by any means of the word. Okay, so anyways, now I got this other podcast I listened to, very fascinating, saying that I just cherry pick cherry pick what year I want to start the market in. And that's why gold has outperformed the stock market for the last 25 to 30 years, right? Gold has outperformed it, right? Gold has outperformed Warren Buffett for the last 30 years. People don't like saying that, right? But that's just the facts, But they say I'm cherry picking. If you go back to 1980, yes, Mr. Buffett outperformed gold. I get that, but for the last 30 years, he has not. For the last 25 years, the stock market has not. For the last 25 years, the bond market has really, gold has returned twice as much return as the bond market has. You see, so am I cherry picking? I don't know. Gold is taking off though, that I do know. But this podcast was telling me it took 45 years for gold to hit a new record high. Hit that record high back in 1980, right? Back in 1980 when it became 1-to-1 with the Dow, that was the record high. It took 45 years to get to a new record high. And I think it's going to hit 1-to-1 with the Dow again. Now he's talking about an inflation adjusted high. He's saying 3,300 inflation adjusted is only 800. And he argues that silver hasn't even hit nominal high since 1980, and he'd be correct. That's why that's why you buy silver. See, he's arguing that's why you don't buy silver. I'm arguing that's exactly why you buy silver. Look, I think gold's going to $10,000 an ounce. That's just my take. A lot of people calling for 40,000. We'll talk about that once it gets to 10,000. But when it's at 10,000, you got a 100-to-1 ratio right now with silver to gold. Now, 100-to-1 ratio would put silver at $100 when gold's at $10,000, right? Okay, so that would be a 100-to-1 ratio. It's not going to stay 100-to-1. I'm telling you, whether you go back to the 1970, what was it? 15-to-1. Okay, you can go back and measure that, right? What if we just go to 20-to-1? Gold's at 10,000. Okay, well, what would it be? Well, it'd be $2,000 for 1 ounce of silver, and it's at $35 or right about there. I don't have the exact numbers. You can get it for $35. It's got potential to be $2,000 within the next 4 or 5 years. Wow, I'll take a shot on that. Now, this guy's telling you never take a shot on that because it's manipulated. Understand it's manipulated. Once that manipulation goes away, that's where silver's a slingshot. Now, you notice the day that gold was down $100, what was silver? It was up over $1, right? Up over $1. Gold dropped. It's going to slingshot. The ratio is going to go from 100-to-1 probably down to around 10 or 20-to-1. You want to get some silver. Silver's the better buy right now. Look, I wish back in 1980 I was rich enough to buy gold. I was not rich enough to buy gold back in 1980. I had to buy silver. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still holding that silver. Right now it is higher. I was paying $12 an ounce back then, and I bought these big, bulky 100-ounce bars. Don't buy 100-ounce bars. Buy the coin of the realm. You can either buy the junk silver, but what I really like the Silver Eagles. Silver Eagles, coin of the realm by the U.S. Mint. That's the U.S. coin recognized anywhere around the world almost, right? And you can, sure, there's a little bit of premium on, but when you sell it for a little bit of premium. Nothing wrong with junk silver, it's just not as pretty as the Silver Eagle. I like the Silver Eagle. You can get junk silver. They're both good, but you got to understand that, you see, this is real money. This isn't some digits on your computer that can go away. Look, he's talking about Michael Saylor talking about taking out a 30-year loan on your house because Bitcoin's going to go up minimum 30% a year, he says. Now, look, in 30 years, I don't even think Bitcoin's going to be here. All fiat money goes away, goes to zero. The dollar's going to go to zero. All fiat money goes to zero. Bitcoin is digital fiat. It wants to be digital gold. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of hate for that one, but it's digital fiat, right? And eventually it will go to zero. Now, it could get 1 million first. Michael Saylor says 10 million first. Maybe he's right. I don't think so. I'm hoping it stays around. It's my favorite thing to trade. I love it, right? Because it's so volatile. It'll move 5,000 a day, up, down, sideways, any direction, right? So I love to trade it. I don't want it to go away. I hope it has a 10, 20-year run, but I think the quantum computer computers are going to wipe it out before then, but we'll see how that plays out. Maybe it can last. Maybe it can stay around. But this is the last bull run for gold. This is it. This is the opportunity of a lifetime, the last bull run for gold, because gold is going to become real money where everything will be priced against gold, will not be priced against the dollar. Just my take, dollar going away, gold going strong. Like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. I'm Tall Mike. Get out there, everybody. Enjoy the day, and we'll talk again real soon. Bye-bye now.